Hey, everybody. Okay, well, we're starting on the QAnon conspiracy theory, and I wasn't exactly sure where to start. Do I try to find where it all began and start from the beginning on forward, or what? So I thought I would take the most recent incident, which was a man named Matthew Coleman who murdered his two children last August. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the first article that I had seen, and that would have been just a few weeks ago, April 11th, actually. I remember. Let me see. Okay, so let's go through this first. So this was in People magazine. Okay, so QAnon, secret hand signals and serpent DNA inside Matthew Coleman's state of mind before child murders. Matthew Taylor Coleman allegedly confessed to killing his two children late August. Okay. Before the deaths of his two children in Mexico last August, Matthew Taylor Coleman allegedly became convinced there was a conspiracy against him and that his enemies were communicating via secret hand signals. The extremes of Coleman's alleged conspiratorial thinking are detailed in a 30-page application for a search warrant obtained by People and Crimes, Lies, and Alibis, which was released on March 28th. The affidavit details Coleman's alleged interest in conspiracy theories like QAnon and Illuminati, as well as his fascination with Strong's numbers and index of every word in the Bible. Interesting. According to the affidavit, Coleman allegedly confessed to the FBI that he had killed his children and that prior to doing so, he had laid in bed seeing all the pieces being decoded like the Matrix, and that he was Neo, the main character in the 1999 science fiction film played by, oh my God, every time I go to say his name, and I know how to say it, but when I look at it, Keanu Reeves. Okay, I'm just going to leave it. The affidavit states that Coleman's wife, Abby Coleman, told authorities she had also searched QAnon with her husband, but said he became significantly more paranoid that people around him were involved in a conspiracy. Coleman, according to the affidavit, told authorities that he started to get clarity about 5 days before he left his Santa Barbara, California home for Mexico, where last August 9th, he allegedly killed his two young children, Kaleo, 2, and Roxy, 10 months. Coleman allegedly said he killed his children because he believed they were going to grow into monsters. He also allegedly said he believed his wife possessed serpent DNA and had passed it on to his children, and that he killed the children to prevent the spread of what he believed was their corrupted DNA. Eventually, Coleman saw the big picture that he had to kill his children to prevent them from becoming an alien species that would release carnage over the earth, the affidavit reads. Yes, we have that too. Paraphrasing Coleman's alleged statements to authorities. Coleman explained that he was either crazy or the only person that is left on earth that is a true man, states the affidavit. I'm going to read that again. Coleman explained that he was either crazy or the only person that is left on earth that is a true man. Wow. Coleman has pleaded not guilty to federal charges of murdering U.S. nationals on foreign soil. His attorney has not returned calls for comment. The affidavit shows that Coleman allegedly became preoccupied with hand gestures, which he claimed showed that others were involved in a conspiracy against him. Coleman explained that he scrolled through Instagram and took screenshots of individuals making these hand signals or signs, states the affidavit. One of those people, according to the affidavit, was his friend. Coleman told authorities that after seeing the friend making the hand gesture in social media posts, Coleman knew that the whole thing was a setup and they were using people to get to him, the affidavit alleges. The friend was interviewed by the FBI and said that approximately 3 weeks before Coleman left for Mexico, he'd accused the friend of being loyal to a group of people whose hand gestures, which included a peace sign, indicated they were evil. Hours after Coleman took the children to Mexico, Abby allegedly called the friend over to the Coleman home, the friend told authorities. At that point, Abby allegedly showed the friend a photo from more than a decade prior, which showed the friend, along with his other friends, making hand gestures. The friend said that based on the hand gestures, Abby accused him of being in on it and chased him from the home, according to the affidavit. So I'm wondering if she's not involved and now she's just throwing him under the bus. The affidavit also reveals a text exchange between Matthew and Abby Coleman the day the children were killed. At 3:12 last August 9th, Coleman allegedly sent a text to Abby in response to a previous text she had sent him. "Hi babe, miss you too," he allegedly wrote, according to the affidavit. "Things have been rough, but starting to get some clarity as well. Still confused on a lot of things, though, and processing through them. So many crazy thoughts going through my head right now. Hard to explain. Yeah, funny you're getting some clarity through my grandma's old Bibles," he continued. "Wasn't there too? Anyways, was actually still thinking of burning them in case there's a chip in them or something. Going to keep processing through everything and hope to get some answers. Hope all this craziness ends soon. Love you." Less than 2 hours later, authorities allege that Coleman brought the children to a field where he stabbed them both in the chest with a spearfishing gun and hid their bodies underneath some brush. The bodies were discovered by a farmer later that morning. Around 9:24 a.m., hours after the time officials think the children were killed, authorities said that Abby texted her husband. "We are doing this together, babe," she wrote. "Praying for clarity over you and your mind this morning. Everything you've believed and known to be true is happening right now. I'm partnering with you from Santa Barbara. Let's take back our city, the gateway of revival for the state of California and the nation and the world. You were created to change the course of world history. Take care of my little giant slayer and the voice of heaven's dove. They sure are special. She's referring to her children. The affidavit does not provide further context on the subject matter of the texts. Abby has not returned people's messages for comment. Coleman was arrested around 1 p.m. that day as he attempted to cross the border into the U.S. He is currently being held without bond at an undisclosed federal prison in California and has undergone psychological testing to determine his state of mind. That's a wow, right? So let me see. Or did I want to do the updated? Yeah, let me just do the updated real quick. Okay, so new affidavit details conspiracy paranoia of California surfer who confessed to killing kids in Mexico. With this picture right here, underneath that it says, a man identified by prosecutors as Matthew Taylor Coleman is seen in a surveillance image from a hotel in Rosarito, Mexico in August 2021. Coleman is accused in the murder of his 2 children. Okay, so an application for a search warrant reveals more details about the conspiratorial mindset of Matthew Taylor Coleman, a California Christian surf school owner who confessed to killing his 2 children in Mexico last year. The search warrant was first reported by the San Diego Union Tribune. So let me just real quick. Okay, Coleman, this tells you a little bit more. So Coleman, 40, of Santa Barbara, was reported missing by his wife in August 2021 when he allegedly took their 2 children, a 2-year-old son and 10-month-old daughter, in the family's van. The Find My iPhone feature tracked Coleman to Rosarito in Baja California, where surveillance footage released by the Baja California Attorney General's office showed Coleman and the children checking into a hotel. According to authorities, Coleman later returned to the hotel alone. The bodies of the 2 children were discovered by a farm worker in the brush near the entrance of the Rancho El Descanso community. According to the FBI, they were killed with a spearfishing gun. When Coleman was detained at the border checkpoint in San Diego, he confessed that he killed his children because he had been enlightened by QAnon and Illuminati conspiracy theories and was receiving visions and signs revealing that his wife, Abby Coleman, possessed serpent DNA and had passed it on to his children. Let me just do quick right here. On August 11th, this is quoting, doesn't say it. Okay. On August 11th, while I was transporting Matthew Coleman from Ventura County Jail to the United States Marshal Service, he explained that he first learned of lizard people on Twitter and from that British guy with white hair. FBI Special Agent Joseph P. Hamer wrote in the affidavit. That British guy referred to David Icke, a once mainstream BBC broadcaster who has become one of the 21st century's most prolific conspiracy theorists. In the early 1990s, started proliferating invented tales of a secret order that runs the world. That imaginary global order is made up of shape-shifting, reptile-like aliens who masquerade as humans. According to Icke, many of the world's political, social, and cultural leaders are secretly alien reptiles. Ick's influence in New Age conspiracy circles is potent. Along with his many popular books, he found a receptive American audience on Alex Jones' InfoWars, where Ick has been a frequent guest for years. Ick was finally removed from Twitter and Facebook in 2020 for spreading COVID-19 misinformation. But the FBI believes by then Coleman had already been influenced by Ick's beliefs. He said visions and signs revealed that his wife, Abby Coleman, possessed a serpent DNA. Matthew Coleman mentioned that he was not sure if his wife was a shapeshifter and had passed it on to his children, and that all things were pointing to the idea that his children have corrupted DNA that will spread if something is not done about it, Hamer wrote. Coleman also allegedly began slipping down the rabbit hole of QAnon conspiracy theories, and the affidavit claims he was obsessed with finding secret symbolism in social media photos. Although lizard people conspiracies and QAnon are not directly linked, both share a belief that a secret elite is controlling the world and leaving hints of their deeds in media appearances and photographs. Coleman started noticing signs everywhere, Hamer wrote, including postings on Instagram from musicians, teachers, and his friends. Coleman explained that he was either crazy or the only person that is left on earth that is a true man, and that while he was in Mexico before killing his children, Matthew Coleman laid in bed seeing all the pieces being decoded like the Matrix, and he was Neo, the affidavit alleged. The imagery of the Matrix is widespread in far-right conspiracy circles. Taking the red pill or becoming pilled is frequently used as a positive term for people who have become radicalized by online rhetoric. The search warrant application filed by the FBI seeks access to 2 Instagram accounts used by Coleman. The FBI believes there may be more evidence regarding his mental state in his direct messages, which they currently cannot see. Coleman has been charged with the foreign murder of U.S. nationals. Stop sharing that. I mean, this stuff, it's like you just can't make it up, right? You just can't make it up. Which one did I want to pull up? This is going to be from the Rolling Stone magazine. Okay, and the reason I wanted to do this one is because this one has information from a cult expert. So you're trying to save the family. Cult expert on new details from QAnon murder case. Messages between Matthew Taylor Coleman and his wife reveal an apparent mutual interest in the conspiracy theory. But Diane Bescoter, who helps people escape cults, says there could be other things at play. A recently unsealed search warrant reveals more about the final days and final hours before Santa Barbara surf instructor Matthew Taylor Coleman allegedly murdered his 2 children. Last September, a federal grand jury in San Diego indicted Coleman, 40, on 2 counts of murder for the death of his 2-year-old son, KlLLS, and his 10-month-old daughter, Roxy. Prosecutors claim Coleman abducted his children on August 7th from the family's home in Santa Barbara and drove them across the Mexican border, where he allegedly murdered them and left their bodies behind. Police said he confessed to using a spear fishing gun to stab the children to death. According to charging documents from August, he said he was enlightened by QAnon and Illuminati conspiracy theories and had received visions and signs. We did just read that stuff. Let me just move down here a little bit. Let's see. The FBI search warrant filed February 17th and first publicized by Seamus Hughes reveals more details about Coleman's behaviors before the alleged murders and some of his final communications with Abby between when he left on August 7th and when the children were found dead the morning of August 9th. For instance, a text sent from Coleman's account to Abby's on August 9th around 3 a.m. seemed to be replying to one of Abby's texts. And we just did this. "Hi, babe, miss you too," it said. "Things have been rough, but starting to get some clarity as well. Still confused on a lot of things, though, and processing through them. So many crazy thoughts going through my head right now. Hard to explain. Yeah, funny you're getting some clarity through my grandma's old Bibles. Wasn't there too? Anyways, was actually still thinking of burning them in case there's a chip in them or something. Going to keep processing through everything and hope to get some answers. Hope all this craziness ends soon. Love you." Interesting that they said that he allegedly kidnapped, but from whom? The mother? The warrant also revealed that Abby had texted Coleman asking if their children were okay. That's not really what she said. She sent a message around 9:30 a.m., August 9th, expressing solidarity with Coleman. "We are doing this together, babe," it said, "praying for clarity over you and your mind this morning. Everything you've believed and known to be true is happening right now. I'm partnering with you from Santa Barbara. Let's take back our city, the gateway of revival for the state of California and the nation and the world. You were created to change the course of world history. Take care of my little giant slayer and the voice of heaven's dove. They sure are special." When authorities interviewed Abby, the warrant said she had told them that as she and Coleman had researched QAnon, he had become significantly more paranoid that people around him were involved in a conspiracy based on signs he saw on social media. Abby allegedly told authorities he believed some of their best friends were all in on this thing together. He'd even accused Abby of being part of the conspiracy, she told authorities. But she's the one that threw his friend out while he was in Mexico. During his interview with investigators, Coleman said he'd been interpreting hand signals he'd seen in photographs on social media to discern who was part of the conspiracy he believed existed. According to the new documents, one of Coleman's friends told the FBI Coleman had told him about the hand signals, including peace signs that revealed people were evil disguised as good on social media. The warrant said that friend also told agents that shortly after Coleman left Santa Barbara with the children, Abby called him to come over, then showed him a Facebook picture of himself from over a decade ago where he was making hand gestures. He said she accused him of being in on it and chased him from their residence. Diane Benscoter, a cult expert and founder of Antidote, an organization that helps people escape QAnon and other cults, said it's impossible to be certain about what the text between Coleman and his wife mean. She did note that people who are drawn into conspiracy theories and cults often feel great motivation to get their loved ones to join in their beliefs with them. Typically, one person gets pulled in and they find it to be so rewarding for them. It makes them feel better about themselves. They feel a sense of self-righteousness. They feel like they have comrades fighting this good fight. They have an enemy they can blame now for whatever's going on in their life. And maybe they're not happy about it, she says. But because that requires an all or nothing commitment, you want to pull those close to you into it so you can continue to have a relationship with them. At the same time, she says you can't be sure how someone whose loved one is in a cult will handle their role in the relationship. She says Abby may have been feigning enthusiasm for QAnon to protect her family. It's not unusual to pretend to believe in it because a person becomes very scary if you don't go along with them, she says. You're trying to save the family and hold it together. In other instances, she says sometimes a spouse joins in on the beliefs, but to a lesser extreme. Abby has not spoken publicly about the case and could not be immediately reached for comment. I just want to say at this point that, again, she invited that friend over after her husband was in Mexico and threw him out of the house, saying he was in on it. Okay, what led Coleman to QAnon in the first place is known only to him. Beth Scudder says if a person believes joining a group is the answer to all their problems, it could take over their entire identity. It's really important to understand that there are always underlying issues as to why a person feels that joining a group like this answers so many of their questions about life. So I'll stop that one. And let's go to the affidavit first. All right, let's see what it says here. The United States of America versus Matthew Taylor Coleman. Criminal complaint by telephone or other reliable electronic means. I, the complainant in this case, state that the following is true to the best of my knowledge and belief. On or about the date of August 9th, 2021, outside the United States and within the jurisdiction of the country of Mexico, the defendant violated, it tells you the code, and the description is foreign murder of U.S. nationals. I, Jennifer Bannon, being duly sworn, declare and state as follows. 1. I am a special agent of the Federal Bureau of Investigations and have been so employed since 2006. Since 2006, I have participated in numerous counterterrorism investigations that focused on large networks of terrorist sympathizers and supporters residing in the United States and abroad. In July 2011, I was assigned to work on the Regional Narcotic Suppression Program, a federally funded high-intensity drug trafficking area task force that consists of the FBI, the Drug Enforcement Administration, the Orange County Sheriff's Department, the Santa Ana Police Department, and several other local police departments. RNSP is responsible for working crimes committed by drug trafficking organizations under Titles 18 and 21 of the United States Code. I have received training in asset forfeiture, cellular phone analysis, investigating complex narcotics organizations, and advanced interviewing and interrogation techniques. In July 2018, I was transferred to the FBI Ventura Resident Agency, where I continued to investigate drug trafficking, money laundering investigations, violent crimes, and transnational criminal organizations. Additionally, I have participated in numerous search and arrest warrants associated with individuals who were involved in violent criminal acts. 3. Additionally, I have participated in numerous search and arrest warrants associated with individuals who were involved in violent criminal acts. I have participated in an investigation involving an international kidnapping of a United States nationals abroad. 4. Through my investigations, my training and experience, and my conversations with other law enforcement personnel, I have received both formal and informal instruction in investigating violent acts, to include methods and techniques used by criminals to plan, execute, and cover up their criminal activities. Specifically, I have spoken with and read reports from agents involved in investigating murders of U.S. national in foreign countries. The purpose of this affidavit. This affidavit is made in support of criminal complaint against Matthew Taylor Coleman for a violation of all of this for a murder of United States nationals. The facts set forth in this affidavit are based upon my personal observations, my training and experience, and information obtained from various law enforcement personnel, including the Santa Barbara Police Department and the Secretaría de Seguridad Pública Municipal de Rosarito, and witnesses. This affidavit is intended to show merely that there is sufficient probable cause for the requested criminal complaint and warrants, and does not purport to set forth all my knowledge of the investigation into this matter. Unless specifically indicated otherwise, all conversations and statements described in this affidavit are related in substance and in part only, and all dates and times are approximate. Summary of probable cause. On August 7th, 2021, Matthew Coleman took his two children, Roxy Coleman and KlLLS Coleman, from the home he shared with his wife and mother of his children, Abby Coleman, in Santa Barbara, California, to Rosarito, Baja California, Mexico. While in Rosarito, Matthew Coleman murdered his children by shooting a spear fishing gun into their chests. On August 9th, 2021, during a Mirandized interview, Matthew Coleman confessed to the murders. Statement of probable cause. A. Abby Coleman reported Matthew Coleman missing. Just saying. On August 9th, 2021, Santa Barbara Police Department, or was that SBPD, Sergeant Brian Larson contacted me regarding a possible parental kidnapping. Sergeant Lawson provided me with a copy of the missing person police report that was taken by SBPD. I reviewed the police report and learned the following. On August 7th, 2021, SBPD Officer Barriga spoke to Abby Coleman via telephone regarding her husband, Matthew Coleman. Abby Coleman reported to SBPD that she, her husband, Matthew Coleman, and their two children, Roxy and KlLLS, planned to go on a camping trip. Instead, Abby Coleman said that Matthew Coleman had left the residence in the family's Mercedes Sprinter van with Roxy Coleman and KlLLS Coleman. Abby Coleman reported that Matthew Coleman did not tell her where he was going and was not answering her text messages. In addition, Abby Coleman was concerned because Matthew Coleman did not have a car seat. Abby Coleman asked the officer to contact Matthew Coleman via telephone. Abby, I'm just going to say Abby, and that because I keep saying Coleman like too many times. It sounds redundant. Abby further stated she did not believe that Matthew would harm the children, nor did she believe her children were in any danger. Abby told the officer that she was not in any danger and believed Matthew would eventually return to their residence. The officer attempted to contact Matthew Coleman via telephone, but received no response. The officer offered to meet Abby in person. Abby declined and requested no further assistance. On August 8th, 2021, Abby Coleman called SBPD to follow up on the previous day's report. At approximately 6:59 p.m., SBPD Officer Michael Chung responded to Abby's residence in Santa Barbara and met with Abby. Abby reiterated that on August 7th, her husband Matthew left the residence with their 2 children in the Mercedes Sprinter van. Abby requested SBPD's assistance in reporting Matthew Coleman and their 2 children missing. Abby reported that she did not have any problem with Matthew or have any problems with Matthew, and they did not have any sort of argument prior to him leaving. Family members reported that they were unable to telephonically reach Matthew Coleman. Officer Chung asked Abby whether she could attempt to use the Find My iPhone application to locate Matthew Coleman's phone. Abby agreed and turned on her laptop, which showed that Matthew Coleman's last known location was at Pabellon, Rosarito in Rosarito, Baja California, Mexico at approximately 2:24 p.m. According to an open source query, Pabellon Rosarito was an open-air shopping center with an address of Cala Reforma, an address. On August 9th, 2021, Sergeant Larson provided me with a photograph of Matthew Coleman with his children, Roxy and Kaleo. On August 9th, 2021, Sergeant Lawson sent me a screenshot showing where Matthew Coleman's cellular telephone was located using the Find My iPhone app. I saw that it was in Mexico near the San Cedro port of entry. I contacted the FBI in San Diego, that's what it was, the ST, San Diego, California, and requested their assistance in conducting an interview of Matthew Coleman upon his entry into the United States and to determine the welfare of the children. At approximately 1 p.m., Matthew Coleman arrived at the border in the Mercedes Sprinter van. Matthew Coleman was referred to secondary inspection. There were no other occupants in the Mercedes Sprinter van. Federal agents took custody of the Mercedes Sprinter van. During an initial inspection of the van, I was informed that Customs and Border Protection officers observed what appeared to be blood on the van's registration paperwork. FBI Supervisory Special Agent Joyce Denise told me that when she learned that Matthew Coleman was not accompanied by his children, she contacted her Mexican liaison partners from SSPM informing them of 2 missing children. After she provided the SSPM Rosarito with the ages of the children, an SSPM Rosarito officer informed her that the SSPM Rosarito located 2 deceased children matching Roxy and KlLLS's descriptions at approximately 8 a.m. that morning in a ditch. I reviewed photographs of the deceased children and observed large puncture wounds in their chest cavities. The photos of the 2 children provided by Mexican authorities appear to be the same children depicted in a photograph of the children with Matthew Coleman previously provided. Matthew Coleman was taken into an interview room at the SYPOE. FBI Special Agent Nathaniel Dingle provided Matthew Coleman his Miranda rights. Matthew waived his rights and agreed to speak with the agents. The interview was recorded. At the conclusion of the interview, I met with Special Agent Dingle, who told me the following. Matthew confessed to killing his children, Roxy and KlLLS. Matthew said that he drove his children to Mexico on Saturday, August 7th, 2021. Because he did not have a car seat, he placed his youngest child, Roxy, in a box and departed without Abby. Matthew stated that he believed his children were going to grow into monsters, so he had to kill them. At approximately 5 a.m., Matthew drove south on Descanso Road. He pulled off to the side of the road in the area of Rancho del Cielo. Matthew stated that first he killed Roxy using a spear fishing gun, piercing Roxy in the heart. Matthew stated that KlLLS did not die right away. Matthew described that he had to move the spear around, thereby cutting his hand in the process. I later observed marks on Matthew Coleman's hand consistent with his statement. Photographs showing those marks were taken. After he killed his children, Matthew Coleman said that he moved their bodies approximately 30 yards away and placed them in some brush. Matthew Coleman provided agents with the approximate location of the bodies, which coincided with where the bodies were located by Mexican authorities. Matthew Coleman stated that he drove a couple of miles where he then discarded the spearfishing gun and bloody clothes near a creek. He threw bloody clothes into a blue trash bin somewhere off the side of a road in Tijuana, Mexico. Matthew Coleman explained that he was enlightened by QAnon and Illuminati conspiracy theories and was receiving visions and signs revealing that his wife Abby possessed serpent DNA and had passed it on to his children. Matthew said that he was saving the world from monsters. Matthew identified photographs depicting Roxy and KlLLS's bodies as recovered by the Mexican authorities as his children. Matthew marked each photograph with his initials. Matthew was asked whether he knew what he did was wrong. Matthew stated that he knew it was wrong, but it was the only course of action that would save the world. At approximately 2:30 a.m. on August 10th, 2021, I transported Matthew from the SYPOE to the Santa Ana jail. While being booked into custody, the jailer asked Matthew why he had a Band-Aid on his hand. He said it was from hurting his children. On August 10th, 2021, FBI personnel informed me that Mexican officials recovered the murder weapon, bloody clothes, and a baby's blanket. I reviewed photographs of these items. Matthew Coleman is and Roxy and KlLLS were nationals of the United States. When detained at the SYPOE, Matthew Coleman was in possession of his United States passport, which identified Matthew as a United States citizen. I have reviewed records from Customs and Border Protection and identified a United States passport for Abby Coleman under her maiden name. I believe that she is a United States citizen. I am also in possession of a copy of KlLLS's birth certificate, as well as verification of pregnancy and live birth, listing their home address in Santa Barbara, California, signifying a home birth, regarding Roxy Coleman, signed by the birthing nurse. Given these documents and that the Colemans are United States citizens, reside in Santa Barbara, California, coupled with KlLLS and Roxy's young ages, I believe that there is probable cause to believe that KlLLS and Roxy were United States nationals. I am informed by the United States Attorney's Office that the Attorney General, in consultation with the Secretary of State, must approve prosecutions involving the subject offense. On August 11th, 2021, I was informed that the Attorney General of the United States, by and through his delegation of authority to the Assistant Attorney General for the Criminal Division of the Department of Justice, provided approval for this complaint charging Matthew Coleman with, it's got the numbers 18 USC. Conclusion: for all reasons described above, there is probable cause to believe that M. Coleman committed a violation of 18 USC, which we now know is foreign murder of U.S. nationals, something to that effect. And that's something, isn't it? This is going on about an hour. So what I was thinking of doing was not doing the application for a warrant on this one, maybe splitting them up a little bit. So at least if I'm doing this live, I won't be talking much then because I'm doing it now. Yay! All right. Anyway, this was a little bit of an intro to a little bit of what QAnon is about. But let me tell you, to be crystal clear, this does not even scratch the surface of QAnon. Doesn't even scratch the surface. There were things I had forgotten about QAnon that I found out today in my searches. This isn't, it is so wide. It's not just a political thing. It's a media thing. It's an actor thing. It's crazy thing. Absolutely crazy. They even think Will Smith, is one. It's just insane. The whole thing's insane. But anyway, before it gets to an hour, catch you in the next one.